What's the quickest way you can think of to make a fortune? Like, seriously audacious. Lottery. A tech unicorn. Or maybe robbing one of the most secure places on the planet, making off with hundreds of millions.
Yeah. Sounds like a movie plot, doesn't it?
Totally. But this actually happened. This is real life.
Absolutely. And today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, one of the most incredible crimes ever, the Antwerp Diamond Heist. They call it the heist of the century.
And our mission today, really, is to unpack how this team of thieves pulled off something that seemed completely impossible. We want you to feel like you're almost in on it, understanding every little clever step they took.
Yeah, the sheer audacity of it.
Yeah.
And to really get it, you need to picture the scene. Antwerp, Belgium. It's the diamond capital of the world.
Like 80% of all rough diamonds go through there.
Exactly. So massive wealth and, as you'd expect, massive security.
Focus.
Our focus, the Antwerp Diamond Center, right in the middle of this super guarded diamond district.
Okay, so super guarded. Let's break that down. The vault itself. It wasn't just secure. It was basically a fortress, right? 2 stories underground.
A fortress, yeah. And protected by, get this, 10 distinct layers of security. It sounds impenetrable.
10 layers. Okay, walk us through that. What were they actually up against?
All right, so first you've got a combination lock, 4 numbers, 0 to 99 each. That's 100 million possible combinations.
Wow.
Then, even if you guess that, there's a 3-ton solid steel door. It's rated to withstand 12 hours of drilling.
12 hours.
Yeah, but that's almost beside the point because it also had a seismic sensor. Any vibration from drilling, alarm goes off instantly.
Okay, so drilling's out. What else? What about electronics?
Oh yeah, infrared heat detectors, Doppler radar to pick up any movement at all. Then there's this magnetic field between 2 plates on the door and the wall. Break that field. Alarm. And then, beyond the tech, a physical key lock with a key they said was impossible to duplicate.
Supposedly impossible.
Right. And even after that main door, there's a heavy steel grate. Needs another key.
Okay, that's just the entrance to the vault.
Yeah.
What about inside? Or the building itself? More eyes.
Definitely. Inside the vault, an internal security camera running 204/7, a light sensor, any light triggers an alarm, and another separate heat and motion sensor inside.
Jeez.
And the building. Private security force plus a dedicated police force just for the Diamond District, 63 cameras watching everything, steel barriers to lock the place down.
And the boxes inside. They weren't just open.
No way. 189 safe deposit boxes, each with its own key and a 3-letter combination lock. That's like 17,000 variations for each box.
It's just layer upon layer upon layer. And we're talking over $100 million in valuables inside. Maybe $500 million today.
Yeah, diamonds, gold, jewelry, cash, securities, huge amounts. You look at all that and you think, who would even dare?
Exactly. Who's the mastermind? Who looks at that fortress and thinks, yeah, I can crack that?
That would be Leonardo Notarbartolo. He actually called himself a thief and a liar. Said he was born to be a thief.
Quite the self-assessment. What was his background? Not just diamonds, right?
No, he started with fast cars back in the 70s, then got into diamonds, even designing jewelry, had his own stores.
So what pushed him towards this heist? Was it just the challenge, the money, or something more personal?
That's interesting. Apparently, his own jewelry store got robbed at some point. He lost a lot of stuff, designs, inventory. So maybe he saw this as a way to kind of recoup his losses.
A very, very big way.
You could say that, but obviously you can't just waltz into the Antwerp Diamond Center and start scoping it out. So use that old saying, if you can't beat him,
join him.
Yeah.
How did he manage that in such a lockdown place? This is where it gets really clever, isn't it?
Absolutely brilliant. He rented an office right inside the Diamond Center building. Cost him about $700 a month. Posed as an Italian diamond merchant.
And this wasn't quick. He was in there for years beforehand.
3 full years. Started in 2000, the heist was 2003. He played the part perfectly. Gained trust, ran a, semi-legit business. No one suspected a thing.
That deep cover must have given him incredible access. What kind of intel did being a tenant get him?
Oh, it was the key. Literally. As a tenant, he got an ID card, 24-hour access, and, crucially, a free safe deposit box in the vault.
The vault he was planning to rob?
A very one. Allowed him to be in there, observing day after day.
But how do you observe without being obvious? You can't just whip out a camera in there. Surely, photography's banned.
He got creative. He built this tiny digital camera, like fingertip-sized, hid it on top of a pen or maybe inside a highlighter cap.
Seriously?
Yeah, walked right into the vault,
Yeah.
snapping hundreds of photos, the layout, the security systems, everything, discreetly.
That's audacious, but I heard he went even further, got something even more direct.
This part is almost unbelievable. He actually asked the Diamond Center manager for floor plans, said he wanted to expand his business or something.
And they just gave them to him. Schematics for the vault room.
Astonishingly, yes. And those plans revealed something huge. No actual human security watching the vault at night. It was all tech. They relied completely on the alarms and sensors.
Wow. Okay. So he has this insane amount of intel. He goes back to Turin, Italy. Can't do this alone, right? Time to build a team.
Exactly. He assembled his crew, known as the School of Turin, basically a network of Italian thieves, each one a specialist.
Okay, tell us about this crew. Who did he bring in?
Right. First, Ferdinando Finotto, nicknamed the Monster.
Why the monster?
Because he was supposedly monstrously good at everything. Lockpicking, electronics, mechanics, driving, and strong, physically strong, which was important.
Got it. Who else?
Then there was Elio Denorio, the genius. His specialty, alarm systems. He was the guy who could figure out how to bypass pretty much any electronic defense.
The brains behind the tech bypasses. Okay. And Speedy. Pietro Tavano. Sounds witchy.
You nailed it. Tavano was Nodar Bartola's lifelong buddy, the getaway driver, had a long rap sheet, apparently very anxious, paranoid even, and that becomes important later.
Foreshadowing. Okay, and the last one. The mystery man. The king of keys.
Yeah, an older guy, supposedly one of the world's best key forgers. His actual identity, still unknown, never caught.
Incredible. So they've got the intel, the photos, the schematics, the dream teams. Do they just study the plans and hope for the best?
Oh, not a chance. This is where their meticulousness really shines. They took those photos and plans and built an exact replica.
A replica of the vault.
Of the vault's antechamber and the door in a warehouse back in Turin. And they practiced over and over for 2 years.
2 years of practice.
Yep, perfecting every single move, timing everything. This wasn't about luck. It was choreography, muscle memory.
Unbelievable dedication. Okay, so the night arrives,
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, February 15th, 2003. Why that specific night?
Calculated choice. They knew many workers at the center were Jewish and would be off for the Sabbath, meaning fewer people around, and crucially, reliance only on the tech defenses at night. No guards physically near the vault.
They chose to battle the machines, not the people. So let's get into the how. Layer by layer, how did they bypass the supposedly unduplicatable key?
Okay, this is almost funny. The guards. They kept the key in a nearby utility closet. Not exactly Fort Knox, that closet.
You're kidding.
Nope. The team just popped the closet open with a crowbar and took the key. So much for unduplicatable.
Okay, key in hand. What about that 100 million combination lock? Practice doesn't help you guess that.
This was the genius's moment. 5 nights before the heist, he slipped in and installed a tiny camera above the vault door, hidden in a ceiling light fixture.
A hidden camera?
Yep, smaller than a fingertip. It broadcast a signal to a receiver they'd hidden inside a working fire extinguisher nearby. It recorded the guard dialing the combination.
They just watched him open it.
Watched him, recorded it, memorized it. They had the combination days before they even went in.
That level of planning is just staggering. Okay, next. The magnetic field alarm on the door. How'd they beat that?
Clever gadgetry again. They had this custom-made aluminum slab covered in double-sided tape. They carefully stuck the slab onto the magnetic plates on the door and wall. Then they unscrewed the bolts holding the plates and simply taped the plates, still connected to the slab, onto the wall nearby.
So the magnetic circuit was never actually broken.
Never broken. They just moved the whole thing without triggering the alarm. Really smart.
And the heat and motion sensor. I remember hearing something about hairspray.
Yes. This is one of the craziest, simplest hacks. The day before the heist, Nodar Bartolo just casually walked in and sprayed a fine mist of women's hairspray over the sensor.
Hairspray.
Yep. That thin, oily film basically acted as a temporary insulator, blinding it. During the heist, the monster also used a homemade polyester shield and put a styrofoam box over it for good measure.
Oh, wow. The high-tech sensor beaten by hairspray. It shows you, doesn't it? Sometimes the simplest things.
Exactly. Exploit the mundane, the overlook, genius in its simplicity.
Okay, so they're getting closer. Inside the vault, the internal camera, the light sensor. They have dark in the dark, right?
Total darkness. They covered the camera lens with a black bag, taped over the light sensor with black duct tape. They knew the layout perfectly from all that practice in the replica. No need for lights.
Just moving by memory. Incredible. What about the wiring for the alarms? Cutting wires usually triggers them.
Right. So The monster didn't cut anything initially. He used a pre-made bypass wire. He clipped it onto the inbound and outbound cables, essentially creating a loop, a detour for the electrical signal.
So the system thought everything was still connected and normal.
Exactly. The pulse just went around the section they were working on. No alarm.
Okay, almost there. Those 189 safe deposit boxes,
Mm-hmm.
all individually locked. How did they get into those so efficiently?
Another custom tool. They called it a nose puller. It was a hand-cranked device they could fit over the lock faceplate.
A nose puller.
Yeah. They'd screw it in tight, crank it, and it would just pop the lock mechanism right off the box, like pulling a cork from a wine bottle. They said it made this distinct crack, 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 crack sound.
They must have gotten into a rhythm. So putting it all together, how did the actual entry and exit go down?
Okay, they didn't go through the main entrance. They used a rundown office building next door, climbed a hidden ladder onto a balcony.
Sneaky?
The genius used his polyester shield again to block an infrared sensor on that balcony, slipped in through a window, went down to the vault antechamber, covered the external cameras, and then just executed the plan. Disabled every single defense, step by step, exactly as practice.
And how many boxes did they manage to get into?
An amazing 109 out of the 189. Filled their duffel bags, then grabbed the security tapes from the VCRs in the security office, erased the evidence.
Why?
And by 5:30 a.m., they were out. Ran to their car, drove off. No alarms triggered, no shots fired. From an execution standpoint, it was flawless.
Squeaky clean.
The heist itself, yes, squeaky clean. But the getaway, that's where it all falls apart, doesn't it? The irony is just thick.
Oh, massively ironic. All that planning undone by human error. Remember Speedy, the anxious getaway driver?
Yeah, the paranoid one. He completely lost it on the drive back to Italy. Total panic. The plan was to carefully burn all the evidence. Gloves, tools, tapes. Instead, he just started chucking bags of trash out the car window along the E19 motorway.
Just dumping incriminating evidence out the window. What was in the trash?
Pretty much everything they shouldn't have dumped. The stolen videotapes, documents, loose diamonds, little ones, pointers,
Yeah.
a business card belonging to the genius, a fake work order for Noto Bertolo's own company,
No.
and the most famous bit, a half-eaten salami sandwich.
A salami sandwich. You can't make this stuff up. Okay, so who finds this roadside treasure trove?
A local guy, a retired Belgian grocer named August Van Camp. It was Monday, February 17th. He was out walking his pet weasels.
His pet weasels.
Mickey and Minnie, apparently.
Right.
Through his own bit of woods, which people often use as a dumping ground, sadly, he stumbles across all this trash.
And he actually reports it. What made him call the cops over some trash?
He saw Antwerp Diamond Center written on some envelopes in the pile. He was fed up with people dumping on his land anyway, so he called the police. And this time, maybe because of the Diamond Center name, they took it seriously.
So how does a pile of garbage, including a sandwich, lead to cracking the heist of the century? Connect the dots for us.
It was surprisingly straightforward once they looked closely. The salami sandwich, DNA evidence, boom,
Gotcha.
the business card. Led straight to Elio Denorio, the genius. The fake work order pointed right at Noto Bertolo. And the fact his own safe deposit box wasn't touched in the heist. Highly suspicious.
Okay, that's 3 of them. What about the others?
The monster, Ferdinando Finotto, was linked by a time-stamped receipt found in the trash for that very salami sandwich, or rather, the meat platter it came from. Security footage caught him buying it.
Unbelievable. And Speedy.
Pietro Tovano, Speedy, was linked by details on a mobile phone SIM card found amongst the rubbish. Plus, crucially, they found DNA from all the main suspects, Notar Bertolo, Monster, Genius, Speedy, both in the vault and in that discarded trash. A direct link.
And then Notar Bartolo himself seals his fate, doesn't he? The overconfidence.
It's classic hubris. Less than a week after the heist, feeling untouchable, he decides to fly back to Antwerp. Just to tie up loose ends, he said.
Back to the scene of the crime.
Walks right back into the Diamond Center. Big mistake. He was arrested almost immediately. Then they searched his place in Turin.
And found
17 polished diamonds hidden in his safe, with certificates proving they came from the Antwerp vault. Game over.
for consequences. What happened to the team? Did they all go down?
Notar Bertolo got 10 years, got out on parole in 2009, but then violated. It didn't pay restitution to victims, got rearrested in 2013, served till 2017.
Okay. The others?
The Monster, the Genius, and Speedy all got 5 years each. But the King of Keys, the Master Forger,
Still a ghost.
never identified, never arrested, vanished.
Which brings us to the biggest mystery of all. Arrests made, sentences served.
Yeah.
But the loot. The hundreds of millions in diamonds.
Gone. Vanished without a trace, never recovered. To this day.
And that absence, that missing fortune, leads to Nodar Bartolo's alternative story, right? His counter-narrative.
Exactly. He later claimed, quite controversially, that the whole thing wasn't really about the loot. He said he was hired by some unnamed diamond merchant for just 100,000 euros simply to prove the vault could be breached, maybe for insurance purposes. He insists they only actually stole maybe 18 to 20 million worth.
So his theory is that the massive reported loss, the $100 million plus, was actually insurance fraud. That other merchants used the heist as cover to empty their own boxes and claim insurance on phantom goods.
That's his claim. He suggests they staged a much bigger loss that actually occurred.
Is that plausible? What do the experts, the investigators, think?
Well, there's skepticism. A big point against it is that the vault itself apparently wasn't heavily insured because everyone knew its security. While impressive wasn't perfect, no insurer would take on that massive risk fully.
Okay, so maybe not a giant vault insurance payout.
But investigators did estimate maybe $25 million in legitimate insurance claims from individual box holders. They also figured maybe another $75 million in illicit goods, untraceable diamonds. Dirty money might have been stored in those boxes and stolen too. That gets you back to the $100 million figure.
So maybe a bit of both. A double whammy? The thieves took a lot, and maybe some merchants took advantage of the chaos.
It's possible. The truth inside those boxes is probably something we'll never fully know. It definitely adds another layer of intrigue.
Absolutely. Whatever the exact truth about the total value or the motives, the Antwerp Diamond Heist is just legendary. The planning, the execution, the sheer irony of the downfall.
Oh, yeah. It spawned books like Flawless, documentaries. Netflix did one called Stolen, Heist of the Century dramatized series. It just captures the imagination.
It really does. And its legacy isn't just the cleverness or the scale. It's that lingering question. After all that precision, all the planning, the arrests, who really got away with the diamonds?
Exactly. What does it tell us about high-stakes crime when the biggest prize just disappears? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What else is out there, hidden away, completely untraceable?